everything right, and with that little bit of luck that everyone needs, he can go on and be the #1 middleweight in the world.
So there's confirmation that Howard Eastman's attempt to become European champion you can see on BBC One at 11:15 on Tuesday next week. And before that, yet more boxing here on BBC Television during the course of Sunday Grandstand, when we have a fantastic, at least in prospect, unification bout between Vernon Forrest and Ricardo Mayorga. One is the WBC welterweight champion, one the WBA champion, who will be the champion of champions. Now also on the bill here tonight, two of the most talked about prospects in all British boxing, heavyweight Roman Greenberg and cruiserweight David Haye. We'll see Haye in action first of all, just 22 years old, hugely impressive amateur record, and he looked pretty good on his professional debut too, when he stopped the seasoned campaigner Tony Booth at the York Hall Bethnal Green in December. He actually barely broke sweat, winning in 2 rounds. So, what would he make of a rather more experienced French opponent tonight? Let's join Richie and Jim once again.
Well, if anything, David Haye looks in even better condition than he was when he made his professional debut on the 8th of December in London, when he had very few problems stopping one of the great veterans of British boxing, Tony Booth, in 2 rounds. And here he's made the trip up to Sheffield to try to just broaden his fan base. And he's in against another fairly inexperienced boxer all the way from France, Saber Zairi of North African extraction, Mickey Van, the vastly experienced referee, the man in the middle. Well, unexpected, needless to say, Richie, of David Haye, and as I mentioned, he really looks in superb condition, and having boxed as a heavyweight in the amateur ranks, I think obviously cruiserweight, as we've discussed before, is his natural weight.
Yeah, I think so. He's not. I don't think he's a heavyweight in the professional ranks. I think this is his weight, cruiser, for now anyway. And he looks in excellent shape. Obviously, a very dedicated trainer and an exceptional amateur. So yeah, he's got a big future.
His opponent from France is just over 6 feet tall, Saber Zairi. Made his professional debut just about 2 years ago. Had a contest in Belgium and was stopped in 2 rounds. He's had 3 in France in the last year. So he's had 3 more contests than David Haye, but quite frankly, this should be a bit of a stroll for David Haye, if he's the sort of David Haye that we've really come to expect.
Yeah, and straight away, Haye there, just coming across with a terrific left hook around the guard. It really was a cracking punch, and totally surprised Zairi, and what an excellent shot that was very early on.
Good stiff jab from Haye, terrific reflexes from this World Championship silver medalist, who very nearly became a gold medalist after flooring the Cuban favourite in the opening round. This is Haye going about his business with a vengeance and a real sense of purpose there. Haye looks pretty lean and mean, and he's caught the Frenchman with a good right hand midway through this first round, and Haye looking very impressive indeed. Nothing too fancy about it. There's no showboating there at all, Richie.
No, excellent stuff. I mean, his speed really is dazzling, and that's what Zairi just cannot handle, this speed. And David Haye's got a low left hand, but it's so relaxed, and it's brought across with so much speed and power. Excellent punching from Haye.
Good little reply by Zairi. He's got those elbows well tucked in, and the forearms and gloves are held well up in the front of his face to try to ward off the punches of David Haye.
Step back!
Well, a wonderful couple of rights round the corner from David Haye, just varying it nicely, ignoring his left for the time being. And already the face of this Frenchman, who we believe is of Algerian extraction, his face is starting to redden up with less than a minute to go to the end of this first round. Zairi, to his credit, looks like a natural cruiserweight, and he's got a little bit more movement than we saw from Tony Booth, so he's not just as easy a target to hit.
No, he is, but at the same time, Jimmy, he must keep those hands nice and high, and because David Haye's coming across with these left hooks, and it's from that relaxed left hand that he has. He turns the jab into a vicious left hook around the guard, so it is so important. There it is again, so important for Zairi to keep those hands nice and high.
Just a few seconds to go to the end of what has been an interesting first round. Look at Haye trying to just use that corkscrew uppercut coming off that left hook. Good 3 minutes for David Haye, and trainer Adam Booth and manager Eugene Maloney will be pretty pleased with that. And so far, Mick Williamson, needless to say, has not been needed at all, except to smear a little bit of grease around the eyes. So a very good opening round by David Haye, keeping a lot of his work at a distance, hasn't really stepped in. That was just an example of how fast this fellow's hand speed really is.
Oh, excellent hand speed there, Jim, you have to say. And as I say, turning that jab, there he comes around the guard with the hook. His opponent thinks the jab coming, and then he changes the plane of the attack to the hook. Excellent shot.
Well, deciding not to bother sitting down on the stool in this interval. Well, that's a history I'm sure that we'll see more of. It's certainly going to develop. And those stark figures there, 22 years old, 1 contest, 1 win, 1 KO. He'd like to keep it going along those lines, I'm quite sure, as his career unfolds. So David Haye, winner of multi-nations tournaments in Rome and in Croatia and in Copenhagen. Boxed as a 19-year-old, just an 18-year-old I should say, in the World Championships in Houston and Texas 3.5 years ago. Lost to the eventual winner, Michael Sims of the United States, on the 8-2 computer scoring system. A terrific performance by the teenager. Zairi once again covering up, and he's going to have to cover up. And to his credit, he pops out of that crouching style and has a little go at David Haye.
Wonderful punching again from Haye. He really is showing us all the different shots, the left hand, the right hands, hooks, uppercuts, screw shots. He really has got it all. Excellent stuff.
I don't know that Mickey Van's going to let David Haye's opponent take too many more of those solid right hands. Zairi very wary of Haye's punching ability and trying to avoid that uppercut if he possibly can. Good footwork by Haye. That's a terrific piece of movement by the Englishman. Good footwork by the Frenchman.
Yeah, you have to say.
Oh, that was a solid right. Terrific right hand by Haye. This fellow Zairi might have been knocked out in his first contest or stopped, but he's got a good chin, but his nose is cut very badly. There's a cut right in the middle of the bridge of his nose. It's not contest threatening at this stage. It probably looks a lot worse than it is.
Yeah, you have to give credit to Zairi. He's actually took some terrific shots during the first 2 rounds of this fight. He really has, and he's still there and sticking out the jab. He's having a go, but he's just out of his league here. Haye really is in a different class.
He's been doing some serious sparring in recent months. He sparred with Mark Krentz and Roman Greenberg, Michael Sprott and Tommy Eastwood, many of whom are on this bill tonight here in Sheffield. Timing just a little bit off by Haye. He threw that left and was maybe 5-6 inches away from it landing on the target, but he's certainly dominating this contest as we come to the midway point of what's a scheduled 4-rounder.
And it's hard to see where that cut is. It looks like it's a vertical cut down the nose, which is very rare, if anything. But it certainly is bleeding a lot now.
Yeah, tiny little blood vessel just there right underneath the skin, and they've obviously popped a little bit, and there's a lot of blood coming down, but I don't think it's anything terribly bad. Well, it says a lot for the courage of Saber Zairi that he stood up to some good shots. A lot of men may well have folded. So it is just a little nick on that fairly prominent nose of his. Haye, nice and relaxed, getting the shots in, even brushing aside the guard of the Frenchman, and that is a wonderful right hand and a second round the corner, and those are the two particular punches in that round that will have caused all the hurt.
Yeah, a great right hand there again from Haye. Really he's shown us he really can go through all the punch ranges. I mean, he's long range, short range and medium with the hooks and uppercuts. He really has got it all. But fair play to the Frenchman, he's still there, he's having a go, but David Haye is in good form tonight.
Well, they're working on Zairi's nose. David Haye, a little bit of a graze underneath his right eye, but nothing to worry about. The 26-year-old has had just 4 professional contests, lost the first, but has won the last 3. So the midway stage in the scheduled 4-rounder, and one of the great hopes of British professional boxing, David Haye, looking pretty comfortable and pretty composed. Nose is still bleeding, so they weren't able to stem the flow, but it's nothing to worry about in terms of in affecting the contest. Haye hasn't really rushed this one at all, Richie. He's been quite content to take his time.
Yeah, very composed, but his power and the explosive power that he has really is very impressive from Haye. And he's not even out of breath, and he's so relaxed, but it's that left hand of his. Oh, he gets caught himself there.
He certainly did. That wasn't a bad right hand from Saber Zairi. Now, will that sting Haye into action? I think it just did. Maybe that was the last thing that Zairi should have done, is to really whack Haye, and it wasn't a bad shot at all. Haye quicker to the punch. Just a little bit lighter than his French opponent, which is interesting. Zairi came in at 13.9.5, Haye at 13.8.25. So we can do this cruiserweight limit without any problems at all.
Yeah, and what is impressive as well, Jim, David Haye commanding from the centre of the ring. Another great right hand there.
Oh, that was a terrific shot, and a couple more, and Haye's really opening up. And Zairi has taken some very good shots indeed, and he's still there. Well, we remember the Cuban, Orlando Solis, taking a terrific shot from Haye in Belfast some 18, 19 months ago, and coming back to defeat Haye. I don't think he's going to get himself defeated here in Sheffield this evening. But Zairi's face is a mask of red. It's very reddened up from the punching, and the blood is now starting to be smeared across his face. But he's still game, and he's still coming forward. This is exactly what Haye wanted.
This is the type of workout that David Haye needs early on in his career. It's no good if he keeps knocking guys out in 1 and 2 rounds. Here, this fella's come to fight, and he's come to give him a good account of himself. And Haye, although he's in command, he's still having to watch what he's doing here.
Well, he certainly has. This has been a very good piece of matchmaking. Very few of us had heard anything at all about Saber Zairi. That nose is worsening all the time. Haye again being a little bit... Oh, that was wonderful by Haye. I was about to say he had been a little bit off target with the right, and then he produced a two-punch combination that rocked the Frenchman back in his heels. Oh! In our laps, Saber Zairi right at the end. Mickey Van will give them the count. That's definitely going to be a 10-8 round to David Haye. What a right hand that was. He sent him back to his corner. He'll come back for the next round, but David Haye from nowhere at all, although we did sense that he may just have been building up to it, produced a right hand of stunning proportions, and the Frenchman right on the bell found himself not just in the seat of his pants but almost out through the ropes. Haye, look at that, what hand speed. And Zairi almost on top of our television monitors here. What a shot, Richie.
Yeah, excellent. Sets him up with the jab, and there's that right hand straight through the guard. I mean, Zairi did well to get up from that. He was just above us, and what a cracking punch that was. Right through the guard. Excellent shot. And as I said, he did well to actually get up.
Well, I tell you, there are heavyweights in Britain wouldn't have got up from that shot, and that says so much about this fellow. And look at Haye, a little bit of perspiration in the forehead, and as we said, well, he's hardly warmed up. It's confirmation from Mickey Van, the touch gloves for the last round. Mickey Van's had a good look at the nose of Saber Zairi, and what a brave chap he is to come back from that one. So David Haye has gone another couple of rounds than he did in his first contest when he stopped Tony Booth. And now he's trying to stop this Frenchman. Oh, what a mess this Zairi's face is. And he's really puffing and blowing now, but he is such a game fellow. Maybe a little bit too game for his own good. Haye trying to... A little bit more anxiety in the work of Haye. Now he's determined to try to finish this one, Richie.
He certainly is. I mean, I think Mickey Van should step in here. This guy's... yeah, here he goes, I think. Yeah, that's it.
Zairi is not at all pleased. He wanted to go on. He wanted to see the contest out. Mickey Van, I think, has seen enough. Zairi was never going to win this. He was cutting up quite badly. He was bruising quite badly. He's very annoyed that the contest has been stopped because he doesn't want that on his record. He was never going to beat David Haye, and David Haye, well, looking nicely unruffled and unflustered, gets a wipe down from Mick Williamson and can reflect on a job very well done. No one single shot just ended this, but the sheer pressure from Haye was just far too much.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was a great performance, and not only that, Zairi himself has given a good performance, and I think we'll probably see a lot more of him as well, but David Haye, excellent.
David, many congratulations. He gave you a really good workout, didn't he?
Yes, exactly what we wanted. We chose the guy who was aiming for 6 rounds, and I generally thought he could make the 6 rounds because he showed durability in his last few fights. So, unfortunately, they cut it down to 4 rounds, and the referee stopped the fight. But I'm sure he would have went on to last the distance, but he had a bit of damage on his face, so, you know, I mean, the boxer's safety is always paramount.
He demonstrated he could take a punch in the first 2 rounds, and then in the 3rd round, this happened. You really whacked him. Take a look at this. You'll enjoy watching it. What do you reckon?
Yeah, we work on that shot a lot in the gym, me and Adam Booth, down in the 3rd space. So everything went to plan. He was just as tough as I anticipated, so this is what I need. I don't want to fight guys who fall over after 1 shot. It doesn't do you justice, doesn't do the public justice. So I'm going to try and fight tough opposition. And once again, I'm calling out all the British cruiserweights. I'll fight anyone in Britain. I'm ready to go right now. I'll fight anyone. So I was trying to get a fight with someone from Britain. I don't want to fight foreigners all the time because you can't judge how good I am because you've never seen this guy fight before. So I want any cruiserweights out there in Britain. I'm ready to fight anyone now.
Well, it's good that you're putting out, as boxers do, the sort of the challenge. But just tell me, as a final question, does it feel very different being a professional?
Yeah, I can just express myself. I can just relax, and I haven't got the referee constantly nagging me. And the point is over 3-minute rounds, that suits me down to the ground as well, where I can just relax and pick my shots. But I train really hard. I mean, thanks to Puma and everyone is behind me, and everything's going so smooth at the moment. I'm looking at fighting once a month. Ideally twice a month. I'll go straight back into the gym tomorrow and work on what I think I got hit with about 3 punches here, so hopefully I can minimise that.
Yeah, but back to the gym tomorrow because your conditioning didn't look good. Just kidding you.
Yeah, I made the cruiserweight limit comfortably, and I'm just ready to go as soon as possible.
Well done.
Thanks a lot. Bye.